Prince Harry is back on Canadian soil. And listen, whenever Harry steps anywhere near Canada, the maple trees stop rustling, the air gets sweeter, and apparently Buckingham Palace starts panicking like someone just unplugged the royal Wi-Fi. This time, his trip did more than warm up the Toronto weather. It stirred up the usual noise from the palace corridors, where aides seemed to be permanently stationed, waiting for their next Harry crisis. Honestly, these people need hobbies. Harry has been slowly but steadily rebuilding bridges with the royal family, including that unexpected and very polite reunion with King Charles earlier this year. Even insiders described it as a massive step in the right direction. A massive step! Meanwhile, some people in the palace couldn't walk a mile in Harry's shoes because they'll trip on their own bitterness. But here's Harry, showing maturity, showing growth, showing peace. And what does the palace do? Spin themselves into another meltdown. Classic. The moment Harry landed in Canada for Remembrance events, the headlines did a triple backflip. Suddenly, it became a global debate because William was in Brazil for Earthshot the same week. I guess the royal family believes Harry should fax them his location every hour, on the hour. Or maybe attach a tracking device. Because, according to some palace aides, they were shocked, oh yes, shocked to discover that Harry was doing charity. The horror, the disrespect, the absolute audacity of this man to honour veterans without asking permission from people who have never served a day in uniform. Let's be real. The only people confused are palace staffers who insisted they weren't informed, while Harry's team calmly reminded everyone that the charities hosting the events, not Harry, set the date. And, brace yourselves, they did send updates. So the palace yelling, "We didn't know," is basically like someone ignoring all their emails and then screaming, "You never told me." We've all met that co-worker. Of course, the UK tabloids leapt into action like track stars in the 100 meters Olympic final. Royal rivalry, scheduling sabotage, brothers at war. Meanwhile, Harry is literally talking to veterans, laying wreaths and minding his own business. Meanwhile, William is in Rio doing Earthshot, also fine. Two grown men living separate lives. But apparently international peace depends on them not having events on the same day. If that's the case, someone please check on Beyoncé and Taylor Swift. They collide on tour schedules all the time. But the timing wasn't the only thing setting off royal gossip alarms. Just before this Remembrance trip, Harry and Meghan Sussex made a glam appearance at Kris Jenner's glamorous 70th birthday party. Yes, that Kris Jenner. The mother, the manager, the mogul, the queen of "I'm gonna capitalise on that." When you're invited to the table of Kris Jenner, you know you're sitting at the grown-up table of pop culture. Reports said Harry and Meghan Sussex walked in hand, glowing, smiling, unbothered, living the life the tabloids swore they would never get. They mixed with A-listers, had a good time, and suddenly Instagram was on fire. Some photos were posted, then mysteriously deleted, which led the British media to do their favourite thing, inventing drama. They started claiming Harry and Meghan refused consent for photos, because yes, apparently two adults attending a birthday party for a 70-year-old billionaire were plotting a massive conspiracy to hide a cake photo. Later, People magazine came in, calm, factual, professional, and said actually no consent forms were required or denied. Translation: the tabloids made it up. Again, because the truth is extremely boring to them. But the funniest part is watching them work overtime, trying to figure out why the Kardashians' Instagram grid doesn't revolve around their talking points. Harry, for his part, wore a red poppy pin for Remembrance, looking thoughtful, purposeful and dignified, something that must be threatening to people who prefer their royals silent, stiff and photo-op ready. Meghan, or as we call her proudly here, Meghan Sussex, looked joyful, elegant, glowing in every frame. And of course the mere sight of them smiling sends certain commentators into spirals that should qualify for Olympic gymnastics. But let's go back to the palace shock. According to People magazine, aides said they were caught off guard about Harry's trip. Really? Caught off guard? What did they think he was doing? Teleporting? Skydiving into Toronto unannounced? The funniest part is that earlier this year, Harry had reportedly offered to keep the family informed about his engagements to avoid conflicts. A peace offering, a grown-up move, a mature olive branch. And how does the palace repay him? By pretending they didn't get the memo. These people need stronger inbox filters. And then the UK media tried their favourite trick. Harry is overshadowing William. Overshadowing? The man literally attended a remembrance ceremony. That's not overshadowing, that's called existing. If someone attending a charity event overshadows a global prize ceremony, maybe the media should ask why, but they won't, because that would require introspection, and we know that's not their strong suit. Here's the truth. The palace didn't expect Harry to keep being relevant. They thought leaving the royal machine meant disappearing. Instead, he's travelling, attending events, meeting world leaders, supporting veterans and living a life where he gets to choose his own schedule without the approval of people who still think using an email is advanced technology. Harry and Meghan Sussex are thriving, and that's what really irritates the noise machine. Whether it's glamorous Beverly Hills parties or solemn ceremonies honouring service members, Harry and Meghan show up authentically. No staged optics, no photo ops arranged to control headlines, just genuine presence. And that's why the world pays attention. The tabloids can spin themselves dizzy. The palace aides can pretend they were left in the dark. But it doesn't change the reality of what people see. Harry being respectful and engaged, Meghan Sussex glowing and gracious, and both of them building a life on their own terms, far away from the dysfunction they walked away from. And as long as they keep shining, trust me, the people who resent that shine will keep scrambling for shade. And that wraps up today's deep dive, Sussex Squad. If you enjoyed this breakdown, if you love seeing Harry and Meghan Sussex thriving, and if you are tired of the nonsense negativity from the usual suspects, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a super thanks if you want to support the channel and help us keep exposing the hypocrisy and uplifting the Sussexes with the positivity they deserve. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and as always, stay loud, stay proud, and stay Sussex strong.